Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. We are back with another video and another coronavirus real estate update. So we did one of these last week. A lot has changed since then. So we'll talk about some of that, what my future predictions are or are not. It's very tough to know what's going to happen. And we'll talk about what we're doing right now in my real estate world as well. So of course we appreciate everyone who likes our videos. That helps us out. So it's very easy to hit the little like button. So if you want to do that, that's cool. We love comments. We love subscribers too. So I do my best not to get political on these things. So if you guys want to leave comments about politics, all that stuff, you are welcome to. But if I don't respond, that's why. So I do not want to bring my personal beliefs into my videos and my real estate stuff on that. Now, as far as the coronavirus goes, I do have my beliefs on that, and I have chosen not to make those public either, just because there's so much going on, and I don't think anybody really knows for sure what's happening, what's going to happen. So we will talk about how it affects real estate and the economy, but I'm not going to get in too much of the controversy on it. So if you're looking for that, I'm sorry. But we will talk about what we're doing and a lot of real estate stuff. Okay, so since last week when I did a video, we've had a lot of stuff happen with our deals, and I think the stats show something like 158 million people are on lockdown now. So that's crazy. I did not expect that to happen. We'll talk about that a little bit, but mostly we're going to talk about real estate. So first off, what has happened in my business the last week? We do a lot of flips, have a lot of rentals, have a real estate brokerage. That's where I'm at right now. We had one flip fall out of contract. Now, this was a house flip that had been under contract 3 weeks or so. It fell out because of financing. The buyer could not get financing. It had nothing to do with coronavirus. So what happened was they had some weird thing show up on their credit. They thought they could take care of it. Turns out they couldn't. They said, hey, we have another lender that will do it. Let's keep going. And I said, great, show me your letter of pre-qualification letter from that lender. We'll keep going. They never could show that letter, and all of a sudden, well, the problem's more serious than we thought. We can't actually do it. So that fell out of contract, unfortunately. However, it's back under contract already. So we got an offer on it last night. We countered them today. They accepted it today. So that flip is back under contract. There is lots of buyer and seller activity still. So the bottom has not just fallen out of all real estate. Things are still happening. There is activity. So don't think that the entire world is going to end yet, at least. All right, so that flip back under contract. We also bought a 25,000 square foot commercial property. So you probably saw the video of that last week. If not, check it out. I will link to it in the comments below as well, or the description below. That property we bought for $230,000. That was awesome. A little far away from me. It's 90 miles away from me, but it's a big warehouse, old Coca-Cola bottling facility. So really cool building. Check out that video. We also sold a house flip. So yay! That was a flip I've done a lot of videos on that many of you might remember. It was one where we had Section 8 tenants in it when we bought it. They moved out, didn't tell us. The house flooded. Had to go in there, redo the house. Then we had it under contract to sell a couple times. Turns out the foundation wasn't great. One company quoted us $84,000. We got another company to fix it for $5,000. So came back in, ended up some of the kitchen wasn't quite installed right. Ended up tearing out the kitchen, redoing the kitchen again. It was a crazy deal, but it sold. So we'll have a before and after video on that coming up here soon. We have a few of those before and after videos, so make sure you watch those. That's when I go through the whole before, after, sometimes during, with all the numbers, show you what we make, all that good stuff. All right, so that house flip sold. One house flip under contract proceeding. That is the farmhouse flip with the big red barn, if you guys know about that. That went under contract. Wanted to do a quick close. They just did their inspection, and they've told us they're going to sign the inspection resolution. We don't have it back yet. But hopefully, once that's back, we'll proceed, and that will close as planned. And then, this is cool. I did not expect this. We got a letter of intent on one of my commercial properties. So this is a property that used to be a pawn shop. had kind of the storefront with some bars in the windows. We went through, repainted it, did some work. We got a letter of intent to rent that, so they didn't come in at our full asking price, so we countered them back, and we're doing some negotiating, and we'll see if we can't get that rented. But I was not expecting to get a commercial tenant during these crazy times, so that is also a very good sign. We still have some other commercial properties we're working with, but no, I was really glad to see that happen. Not so good news. I had 2 refinances I was trying to do on 2 rental properties through Vizio, and both of them fell through. And this was kind of crazy because they're offering 30-year fixed loans, which was great. Didn't care about the rent to value ratios. Didn't even care about debt to income. And the rates were a little higher, between 5 and 6, but not bad. Well, I thought I had them locked in. We're all ready to go. And all of a sudden they said, well, with the coronavirus and everything going on, they have changed all their rates, all their terms. They're no longer doing 30-year fixed loans. Their points are higher. Their rates are higher. Are you still cool with that? I'm like, well, aren't I locked in? What's going on? I'm like, oh, no. They're changing these rates and terms on people closing today. Like, what? So, yeah, I canceled both of those. Luckily, we had not done the appraisals yet. But that seemed crazy to me that they would just change the rates and terms literally the same day they're supposed to be doing those loans. So if we do refinance these, we'll be looking for some different lenders to do that. And then buyer activity and seller activity, as I said, I have a real estate brokerage. And I have talked to not only some of the agents in my brokerage, but agents all over the country, and they have seen an incredible amount of activity since this all started. And that could be because people want to get something done, bought, sold before it gets worse. But lots of people have said they're getting multiple offers, even more activity than they thought. And Nikki, who is my project manager on our flips and helps with everything out, is a licensed agent, and she got a buyer under contract over the weekend. So we also have someone else looking to buy a property. So all in all, there's a lot of activity going on with real estate. Now, it kind of is crazy how that or the coronavirus will affect us in the future. And again, before I said a lot of things, mostly I don't know about what's going to happen. I said my gut said things won't be that bad and hopefully we can move forward. I still feel that way. I may be crazy. I may be out of my mind. I might be ignoring reality. But there's a number of things I've seen throughout the data and different things going on that lead me to believe that we're not quite as bad off as some things may make it out to be. So, yes, we have a lot of people on lockdown, which is annoying for a lot of people who are trying to work. And a lot of people say, oh, they're trying to save lives. Yes, well, I have 10 people who work for me who depend on me for money in their life as well. So I have to think about them too. And small business owners have to think about them as well. And there's so many different things going on that you have to think about with how that's affecting people beyond just people who get sick. But if people can't work for a long, long period of time, you'll see increases in substance abuse, violence, suicide, mental health problems, other health problems because people aren't going to the doctor or they don't want to go to the doctor because they're afraid of getting sick. In civil unrest, right? If we go through this for too long and people can't work, people have been buying guns at record rates. You never know what's going to happen. So I think we really have to balance if the problem is bigger than another problem, how that works out. So I won't get too crazy in depth into that. But here in Colorado, we are not on lockdown. Governor Polis said he wanted 50% of the staff reduced from non-essential businesses, or unless they can prove they can stand 6 feet away from each other or work 6 feet away from each other. We have 5 people in the 4,000 square foot office, so I think we're good. And it's also, a lot of people said essential businesses are construction in some states. We do a ton of construction. We manage rental properties. We have a lot of stuff going on, so I think most places would consider us essential to stay in business. Some may not. So hopefully we can stay in business, keep working, being careful at the same time, social distancing, but also helping the economy, helping people out. So I'm hoping that doesn't last very long. We get through this pretty quickly and then we can start to recover. Because a crazy stat, I'll just give you one stat, our local food bank said they have a 37% increase in people who need help right now or who need food in 1 week. So we cannot, in my opinion, keep everybody locked down for too long, or we'll see other problems like this pop up that could be much worse than the problems we're trying to solve. For real estate, tenants, right? We talked about tenants a little bit last time. The cool thing, restaurants are back open. We have a restaurant in this building. We have a grocery store too. And as a landlord of that building, you want to help your tenants, they can now serve takeout, delivery, and alcohol with it. I think they're doing pretty well. I think they will survive. Now, renters who can't pay if they're laid off. A lot of people have said, what do you do in this situation? I like some of the advice I've heard out there. Send a letter, say, hey, you still have to pay rent. If you can't pay rent, if you've been laid off, please talk to us. We'll try and work something out. Please let us know if there's any problems or issues with the property. Just let them know you're still there. You still are in business. They still need to pay rent if they can. If they can't pay rent, maybe there's a payment plan, something else you can work out, or even a barter situation. Who knows? Maybe they can paint the house if they can't pay rent because they're at home and they have all this free time. Maybe you don't want the tenants painting your house. That's something to think about though. As far as sales, title companies are still open. They're still working. Lenders are still open. They're still working, at least most traditional lenders. Appraisers are still out there working for the most part. Things seem to be continuing for the most part, even in those places that are locked down. And there's certain levels of lockdown, and there's a lot of people ignoring those lockdowns as well. So who knows how all that will work out. Like I said, my gut says we're going to get through this better off than some of the most dire predictions. We could still definitely see price drops if people are desperate to sell. We could see a slowdown in the economy. I think for sure we'll see a slowdown in the economy with people not going back to work. But hopefully the end of this is sooner rather than later. Not exactly the end of coronavirus. It might be here for quite a while, a long time. But the crazy extreme measures that have been taken to stop the coronavirus, I'm hoping those will be gone sooner rather than later. So thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Love the likes, the comments, the subscribers, all that good stuff. We'll have more videos of our flips going on, our rentals, and different things happening. Also, one thing, I just posted that video. One of our evictions got stopped too. So that was something else that did happen because of the coronavirus. Hopefully we can either do cash for keys or get that situation taken care of when this all goes back to normal too. But that video was posted this week as well, so check that out on the compound. All right, we'll be back with many more videos soon.